Right. Now we want to access the desktop folder because from this command prompt. In order to figure out what are the folders available, I could use dir command, dir, directory command. Right, now if I type dir, now you will see the folders available at this location. That means in my user profile, you will see the folder names and the files and everything. It will show you. Now, I have created a folder on my desktop. Then it has to be inside this desktop folder. Right. Therefore, in order to access this one, type cd and get into the desktop. cd desktop. Right. Once you type cd space desktop, the folder name, you will be inside that desktop folder. Right. On top of the desktop, I have created the folder called ex. Therefore, type cd and ex. If you type cd is a change directory, and then ex is to get into the folder. Now folder name is ex. Right now you can see I'm inside this ex folder. Right. And if I want to go one step back, cd space double dot. Right. You can get one step back. If you want to get inside the folder, ex. Likewise, you could try out. And even if you want to create a folder there, you could use the command mkdir. Try out how to create a folder like this, whether it works, mkdir test. Now, you can see I have created a folder inside the ex folder called test using mkdir. Mkdir means make directory. That in order to create a folder, you could use this command. Right now, here I don't want you to create folders as such. I just want to access it. In order to access, you have to use the cd command. Right. Okay. Right now, let me show you again from the beginning. Right now, let's say now here. Okay. Open the command prompt. Type cmd on the start menu. Then you will be able to get the command prompt. And thereafter, we need to get into the desktop folder. Cd desktop. Then cd desktop, and thereafter we need to get into the ex folder. Then you can type ex, and then I have another folder called test. If you want to get into the test folder, you could try cd desktop ex test. Likewise, you could access, or else right now you can go ahead inside the folder and then open it, and then you can click on the address bar. And once the path is selected, you could take a copy of the path, and then you could type cd and you can paste the path and you can press enter. Now that also will do the task. Okay, quickly try out this. Now I want you to create a folder called ex, and inside the ex, I want to access the ex folder using command prompt. Right. Now, done. Any questions on this? I will show you from the beginning. Let's say now I want to get into the EX folder. No, no need of the test folder. I'm going to delete it. Right now, at the beginning, you will be at the desktop of your computer. Then I want you to go to the desktop folder. See, okay. At the beginning, you will be in the user profile. Now here. Therefore, get into the desktop. You need to type the desktop, CD desktop. Thereafter, in the desktop, in order to get into the EX folder, type this. Right. Then let's open a notepad. Either you could manually open and save the file, or else you could type like notepad and the file name I'm going to type it as test, and I want to make it as a Java file. Notepad test.java. Likewise, you can press enter. Then it will open the notepad and it will ask you to create the file. If you say yes, then it will create a test.java file in the folder and it will open the Java class. Right now, if it is difficult for you, don't worry. Just open the notepad and then we will work on the notepad. Finally, we're going to save it inside the EX folder. Right. Up to now, any questions, please ask. Everyone clear? Cool.
What does CD stand
Sorry. Sorry.
what does CD stands for?
Change directory. Right. Are you okay with that moving from folder to folder?
Yes, sir.
Right. Great. Right. Then let's write. Now, if you open a manually, if you open a notepad file, or that means if you just open a notepad file, then you have to save it. No? Then in order to save it, you can click File, Save, and thereafter you can select the folder, that is EX folder, and then you can provide the name as test.java. Remember the extension is Java, because you know that if it is a Word file, extension is .docx. If it is an Excel file, XLSX. If it is a movie, most probably it's going to be .avi or .mp4. If it is an image, .jpeg, BMP. Likewise, we have different file formats. Likewise, now here for the Java files, the format or the extension is .java. Then you have to type it as test.java. Now, since by default, the notepad files would save as a text file, therefore change it to all files. Because we don't need to save it as a test.java.txt, we just need to save it as a Java file. Therefore, type as test.java and change the save as type as all files. Right. You could create a file like this as well. Even if you feel like the previous method is easy, simple, what you have to do is go to the relevant folder from the command prompt, type notepad because we want to open the notepad, and then type the file name as test.java. Right. Then that would open a new file, and then it says it cannot find you want to create. Then say yes. Then it would create a new file called test.java. Then you will see the type of the file is Java source file. Right. Okay. Quickly complete up to this point. Right. Then let's write the Java class. Now this is where you need to remember now. You can't forget these things. Right, in Java, right, remember everything, every code resides inside a class, not like a Python, right? Now Java, we have to have a class for everything. Then in order to declare a class, you need to use the keyword. This is a keyword, class. CLAS, class is a keyword, right? And class keyword followed by a class name. Class name. Class name, I'm going to make it as test as well. Now the class name also test. Now remember, when you are providing the class name as a habit, start with the capital letters. Because then it will be easier for you to recognize this is a class. Right? Therefore, please declare the class name as a capital letter. Right. Now class. Now for the Java class, there should be a scope of the class. Now the scope of the class in Python, you can see now you use the indentation because no brackets. In C, C++, you can use brackets. Like here also we're going to use brackets in order to define the scope. Now using curly brackets, we're going to define, okay, this is the starting point of the class. This is the end point of the class. Likewise, you're going to do it. Right. Inside the class, you can have methods and variables. You can have variables and methods inside a class. Variables and methods. Right. Now, a method. Okay, now can someone please tell me the difference between a method and a variable? Inside a class, remember, we could have only methods and variables. Right now, we can have only methods and variables. Someone please tell me what's the difference between a method and a variable?
Variables are the attributes of the class, and the methods are the methods or functions of the class.
Right. Now, in simple terms, yes, as you said, right now, variables we could use to store values temporarily. If you want to store values temporarily, yes, we're going to use variables. For an example, if you're going to create a class called student, and if you want to store the student name and the age, yes, then we have to declare a variable called name and another variable called age. Right. Then variables are to temper. Those are the attributes of a class. And then yes, then we have to declare the variables in order to store values temporarily. Right. On the other hand, method. Methods are, if you want to perform some activity, then that has to happen inside the method. Using methods, we're gonna execute. We're gonna do some actions. Right. Now, when it comes to when you talk about the methods, right, there is a special method in Java. There is a special method in Java. That method you call as the main method. Yes, those who have already done Java, can someone please tell me the importance of the main method? the importance of main method in Java. Anyone, please?
Main method.
Yes, main method.
Main method is first execute method.
Okay, great. Yes, the main method is the execution point. Now, once the main method starts, the program starts the execution. One main method finishes, it stops. Therefore, main method is the driver. Main method can, if you have declared the main method, then only we could run that program. The main method can run the program, right? Therefore, we need to declare the main method. Now, I want to run this application. I want to display something. Then I want to declare the main method, right? When you are declaring the main method, there is a exact keywords you have to use. There's a signature for the main method. Then that start with public. Public is an access modifier. What is it? Don't worry. We will discuss later. Static, that is also another keyword. What is the purpose? We will discuss later. Void, it's another keyword. Why? We will discuss later. Main is the method name. Main is the method name. Since it is a method, you need to use the round brackets in order to represent it as a method. And then there are some parameters. We have a string array called args. A string array called args. Now for the main method also, there is a scope for the main method. Therefore, that also declared using curly brackets. Using the curly brackets, you declare the main method. Right. Right. The purpose of using the public keyword, static keyword, void, we will discuss later because it is a must. You have to use it. Right. Now I have declared the main method. Right. Now we need to display something. Let's say I want to display in the console. Then I'm going to use a method. I'm going to access certain packages and certain methods. We will discuss later. System dot out dot print ln print method. You could use print method. Hello. System dot out dot print hello. Right. I'm going to display hello. Right. Once you finish up to this point, you can save it.
Excuse me, sir.
Right now we are done with the code itself. Now we need to run this. Right now, okay, can someone please tell me what is this
Excuse me, sir.
high level programming language and low level programming language? What is high level code? Okay, yes, ask the question.
So can't we use the println?
Yeah,
for
you
the
could
six-
use the println, yes. Println or the print method, you could use. Right. A println, and there's a difference between those two methods. Either you could use println or print, doesn't matter. The difference we will discuss. Okay, the first time you use the print method, and we'll have two lines, and then we'll use the println method, and then we will see what is the difference. Hello world. Right, now first time we're going to use the print, and then we're going to use the println, right? Okay. Right now this is the code we have written using language which is similar to English with some syntaxes. Now we have used Java syntaxes, and according to the Java syntaxes we have written this. Right now this code, what you call as, this code we call as what? Machine code, language, machine code, object code, or the source code. Which one we call it as? Sorry? You call this as what? Right. Now let's run it and see. Now this code you call as the source code. Now we have written using a language we call as the Java programming language. Now which is similar to a high level language, or you can say which is similar to English, where human can easily read this. We could understand what it says. But the machine cannot understand. Now we cannot run that. The processor cannot understand this code. But therefore, what we have to do? Now tell me. Now the code we have written, the processor cannot understand. What should we do?
We need to compile.
Right, now there's two different things. I want you to quickly search and tell me. Compile. Everyone, please. What is a compiler and what is an interpreter? What each does? Right, what is the difference? Or I want you to quickly figure out. Okay, please search and find out. If you don't know what is a compiler and what is an interpreter. Right, now the compiler, yes, I have received an answer. Interpreter produces a result from program while a compiler produces a program written in assembly language. But that is too much for me. I can't understand. Right, now simple words. Can anyone tell me what is a compiler or what compiler does? Now there are undergraduate students and then, yes, Ranushka, tell me, Ranushka.
Compiler translate the entire source code.
Okay, compiler translate the entire program at once and then it converts to what?
High level programming language.
High level, low level කියන එක දෙකක් නේ. Okay, again එකක් search කරලා බලන්න please. What is a high level programming language and what is a low level programming language? Is it the same or do different things? And then is it Java is a high level or a low level language? Figure out. Yes, what is high level programming language? Please. Now we have to learn high level and what is high level, what is low level programming language.
Java, C++, Python are the high level programming languages.
Okay, Java, C++, Python are high level. Okay, what is the high level can මොකක්ද? High level can for what characteristics you call as a high level language?
The code is in a human readable manner.
Okay, human readable. Okay. Yes, if it is a high level programming language, that is a programmer friendly or programmer oriented. Right, now that means the user oriented. User can easily read, easy to understand. It is simple. Right? If it is low level language, the machine oriented languages, we can call it as a low level languages. Right now, therefore, humans cannot read, therefore very difficult to understand, very difficult to read. And then sometimes machine dependent. And then sometimes you may need an assembler to use it. Right, then, right now what we are writing here is a high level code. Then writing a software using any programming language you call as a source code. Now this is the source code and this is we have written this program using a high level programming language because it is similar and you can easily understand. Right, it is a user can easily understand the code, can can convert algorithms into codes quickly, and then humans can readable. Therefore, you can call it as a high level languages, human friendly. Therefore, very easy to read, easy to understand. and easy to learn by any programmer, then it's human friendly, programmer friendly language. That is what you call as a high level language. Right. Now when it comes to memory wise, if it is a high level language, memory efficiency is very low. But if it is a machine dependent language or the low level language, memory efficiency is very high. Right. Now, high level languages cannot readable by the processor. Therefore, we can't execute this. Now, we need to convert this program into machine readable or machine understandable code. Then that purpose, we have to done it via using a compiler or an interpreter. Compiler and the interpreter. Right. Now, if you go to a little bit now, if you can remember in past, right, now when we have very less technology developed, right, the entire program once you convert the program, the converted program will only work in that particular compute, machine dependent. Therefore, you can't use it any other place, machine dependent. Right, only for because different processors are having different architectures, then the code converted into different architecture cannot run on another computer. Right, now those are the differences. Right, now Java and C++ or C Sharp, the .NET framework we can call, right, now has introduced a new way of doing this. Now, what is that new way is what you call as JVM. JVM. Okay, now JVM means Java Virtual Machine. Now, Pute, I want you to quickly figure out what is a virtual machine. Okay, quickly search and tell me what is a virtual machine. Right, what is a virtual machine?
It's a software-based emulator of a physical computer.
Right, now, okay, tell me, when do you use, like, you may have already used a virtual machine, when you have used it, for what purpose?
I used to run a mobile application on my computer.
Right, now, sometimes, let's say, now I will tell you the scenarios, like for me, right? Now, when I want to install, let's say now, if I want to try out some applications, let's say cracked applications, I'm not sure about that application security, privacy, or anything. I wanted to try out, I want to test it out. In such a scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Oracle VirtualBox or VMware or some software like which works as a virtual machine, and then I'm going to install the operating system again using an image file, and then using using the virtual machine, I'm going to install that application which I want to try out, or which one is the cracked version into that image, and then I'm going to try out, because in a contained environment, one purpose. And also, when I was a undergraduate student and when I was in first year, right now, when I enrolled to the degree program, the C and the C language, yes, C programming and C++ programming were taught in Linux, right? And then I had a Windows laptop, and then I want to try out the Linux practicals, but then I can't do it because I don't have Linux installed, and because I had the original, what is the genuine operating system comes with the laptop, then I don't want to change the bootloader, or I did not have enough experience on installing two operating systems into the laptop using dual boot. Then what I did was I have downloaded this virtual machine software, and then I have installed Linux as another operating system using a virtual machine. Thereafter, I tried my practicals using that. Yes. Now, what is this? Now you should have idea about virtual machine. Virtual machine is a software only subcomputer. Now, as a third party application, you could install a virtual machine onto your computer. That means using an image ISO file, you could run the operating system. Now that means even on like you have installed Zoom, you can install virtual machine software, and thereafter using that software you could access that. Then on top of your operating system, using the virtual machine, you can run a different operating system or different applications likewise. Now in simple, virtual machine is a software only subcomputer. Software only subcomputer. Right. Now we were talking about Java. And then previous programming, when you're talking about previous programming, right now, whenever you convert the program, now that program can run only that particular computer. You can't use it on anywhere else because of the different processors has different architectures. Therefore, you cannot do it, or different platforms likewise. But then Java has overcome that issue. Now, today we have downloaded, most of you have downloaded JDK 21. When you install JDK 21, now you can see when you download the JDK 21, you had the option, right, to select whether it is for Windows, whether it is for Linux, whether it is for Mac OS. You had the options. Now, in order to download JDK, the platform dependent. Yes, we have it supports for different platforms. Then we had to download based on the operating system we have. Then we downloaded for Windows machines, Windows JDK, and then we installed. That means what? If you have installed Java, that means you have installed Java virtual machine. Right, now we have installed Java virtual machine in our computer. Now what happens is, now everyone, whoever installed Java, now everyone has installed Java virtual machine. That means software only subcomputer has been installed in our computer. Right. Thereafter we discuss. Now in order to convert into machine understandable code, we need to compile it. Right. Now in other languages, you compile into machine code. But in Java, we compile into the byte code. We call it as a byte code. Bytecode means we're gonna compile the code we have written according to the Java virtual machine we have installed. Now we have installed JVM. Now we're gonna compile the code based on the JVM. Right, let's compile this. Now, in order to compile, you need to invoke Java compiler, Java C space file name dot Java. File name is test dot Java. Java compiler, Java C space file name dot Java. Now, if there is any errors, now for an example, let me have some errors and I'm gonna put system as simple and class C capital, string as simple. I am going to have some errors. Now, when I compile, now it will identify the errors, syntax errors. Now it says what? Class. There's an error. Okay, then I should know, okay, the class C start from simple letter. And it says public static void main here string. Here it should be capital S. Okay, let's leave it. And inside the system, you can see there's an error. Then let's change it to capital S. Right, now then you will see again string S capital. Likewise, you need to fix the errors. As soon as you fix the error, right, as soon as you fix the errors, like if it is no errors, no syntax errors, when you compile it, now look at here, the only the source file is there. It's gonna create a bytecode, the class file. It's gonna create the class file. Okay, quickly compile it. In order to compile it, we have to use Java C space file name dot Java. Right, now have we compiled any errors? Now, if you have any errors, please do let me know. If you have compiled, then by using Java space class name without the class extension. Remember, without the class extension, you will be able to run this. Right, now you can see here, I have used system.out.print method. Therefore, now here everything printed in the same line. The cursor also appears on the same line. Right, now change it to println, save it, compile it, run it, and get the output and tell me the difference, please, quickly.
Hello. When we use println, it will create a second line.
Just hold on. I can't hear anything because it's very noisy outside. Do you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me. Yes, what was the previous issue? Right. Okay. Then I ask you to change it to println and then see. Right, let me save it and then compile it. Compile and then let's run it. Now you can see when I use print method, right? When I use the print method, it prints everything on the same line. Hello, and thereafter world, and then stays on the same line. But when I use the print ln, now it prints hello, and cursor moves to the next line, then prints word, and then the cursor moves to the next line. Therefore, like if we use the println method, now remember the cursor will, it prints whatever it is you have sent, and the cursor will stay go to the next line. Cursor will move to the next line. Print line. If you use the print method, it will print on the print and stays on the same line. Now that's the difference. But now someone should ask, but no one asked. Therefore, I'm gonna ask. Right now, I have on the source file here, right? Now, if I type Java C Java file name .java, Java space file name .java. What will what happens here? Now I can see the output, but no class file generated. Here, what happens here? Then I type Java space file name .java. Now you know previously we have typed Java C. After invoking the compiler, then you have used the Java command as well. But now if I use Java space file name .java, what happens?
Sir, is it automatically reading the source file which is already there?
Sorry, automatically.
Reading the source file which is already there?
Right now, here if you use like now Java space file name to Java, then what happens is right now previously when you use Java C, right now it will invoke the compiler, and then if you have multiple, that means if there is multiple collections, like if you have subclass, superclass relationships, or likewise multiple references, then right now it will compile those classes already, and then it will run. Therefore, it will compile and it will create a class file separately, and then thereafter we need to feed the class file to the Java virtual machine and then run it. But if you use the Java keyword, now this will work only for single source file. Now only for single files. Right now, if it is a multiple source file, this code cannot work. This will work only for single source file. Right now, here on the fly it compiles, and it will on the fly it compiles and it runs.